What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. This week has been very challenging. I've been scrambling. So the bad news is that my lister hasn't come 3 days this week. So she's being sued by her landlord. The landlord is suing her for about $5,000 because the landlord lived below her and her sink was leaking, and he's saying she didn't tell him soon enough. So he's suing her for $5,000. And I don't know what's going to happen, but anyway, I have been without a lister this week, and I have a 3-person operation: myself, one photographer, one lister. So what's happened is there's been a backlog of photographs that haven't been listed, because we do photos first. This is a picture of my setup: prep first, then photos, then listing, then shipping. It's all in order in one straight line. So these are the items that haven't been photographed yet, and I have this little tiny space right here behind the lister where I can store items that are going to be listed. And now it's starting to build up, and I've been scrambling trying to list 280 items a day and ship. And it's nice because I can actually list that many items in a day now because I understand how to list well. My capacity is around 250 to 300 items listed if I have the photographs. I'm doing maybe 30 to 50 per hour. So that's my capacity. But today I had a pretty big breakthrough because my photographer, she took photographs for the first 2 hours and then she listed the next 4 hours. And today, her first day listing, she was able to do 90 items, which is very impressive in my opinion. And she said, well, first off, I took the pictures, so I already knew where to look on each item to find the size, and she was the one that took the pictures, so listing for her was pretty easy. She already knew all the defects. The new thing that we're doing with defects is we actually put a green sticker in the photo, and that way it's really easy for the customer to identify the stain or the problem if there is one. So that green sticker's been good. But she listed 90 items in her first day essentially. She actually said, I mean, this is kind of embarrassing, but she said to me that the easiest part of my system is the listing process. So there's like a lot of people saying that listing is the hardest. If you sell in similar categories, it's not the hardest. It's actually the easiest part. The hardest part would be all these other logistics. Listing would be the easiest part if you sell similar items, because all you're doing is changing a couple of words and adding the photos and listing. It's listing in different categories that makes listing so difficult. But anyway, I really appreciate the Facebook group that Tech and I started, because you can share what you're working on and then people will give you feedback. So 14 people gave me their feedback on my setup, and I'm continuing to do this so I can get to my reseller nirvana, which is 200 sales per day with 2 days off. So I need to list 280 items Monday through Friday in order to reach that goal. And I want 3 total people. So right now it's lister, photographer, and me. Eventually I want lister, photographer, shipper, and then remove myself from the store. But honestly, it's going to take a lot longer than, I mean, it's going to take probably at least a year of me working in the store and really ironing out the processes before I get to that point. It's very difficult to have a passive eBay business. But there is good news. I did hit the top 5,000 stores. I've never been in the top 5,000 before. I actually improved 2,000 spots in the last 30 days. So if you go to someone's feedback, you can actually see their. Let's go to this feedback. I'll accept this offer really quick for a pair of Dickies. But let's go to the listing and look at my feedback. Okay. So in the last 30 days, I've had 775 positive feedback, 5 neutral, and 3 negative. Hopefully I can get those 3 negative removed and most of the neutral removed. This neutral was a bit frustrating, which was just the, what did they put? They just put thank you, TY. So I don't know if I can get that feedback removed. It's kind of annoying because that doesn't really seem like a, why leave a neutral if you're going to say thank you? But anyway, you take this number and you multiply it by 3 or 4, and you get sort of the number of transactions that a seller has done. So I'm averaging a little over 100 sales per day right now, and that would put you in the top 5,000 stores if you had over 100 sales per day probably. And they get into the top 20 stores. So like that's like only 20 stores are in that that distinction, you would need 1,000 sales per day, which is about 10 times the operation that I have. So that's kind of cool, knowing that if I were to do 10 times bigger than this, which I could, I'm not going to do that because it's kind of a headache to have a store that's that big, but I could have a store that's 10 times bigger, and it would only be 20 to 30 employees. So it's interesting to think that I could be the biggest store on eBay if I wanted to dedicate my life to having 30 employees, but that's beyond my pay grade. And I want to admit to you guys that really, to be honest, I'm a much better employee than entrepreneur. So wrapping my head around my job is to get 280 listings up Monday through Friday is much easier than being an entrepreneur and having to figure out how it works. Just picking a number, and now I'm like, okay, I work for this store, Daily Refinement, and my job is to get 280 items listed. Just a lot better at that. So I don't want unprocessed items. So items are ready to go, photographed, listed, put away, shipped when they're sold. I don't want piles of things that are not in these 4 stations: prep station, photo station, listing station, ship station. 4 stations is all you need. Nothing is out of place, and that'll make it easier. Finally, I am trying to buy all of my inventory on eBay because I'm spending 12 to 16 hours a week buying things, and I'd rather not. So I'm buying on I'm using Be Frugal and Rakuten and my Chase Spark Capital One card to try to maximize my savings when I buy. So it's pretty cool because Be Frugal right now has 1.5% back on eBay. So I've been buying lots on eBay, and at 1.5% back, that's pretty awesome. So that means if you spend $100, you get $1.50 back on top of your credit card rebate. So I have Capital One Spark, which is 2%, plus 1.5%. That's a lot. You spend $1,000, you get $35 back. So I've been buying lots on eBay because I would rather not go pick it myself. I'm already up to $1,200 in cash back on Be Frugal, and I'm up to $1,258 on Rakuten. These are the 2 best sites that I've used so far. I do have a referral code for you guys. And yeah, if you want to sign up, it doesn't cost any money to look at cashback for different sites and different websites. I'm actually not sponsored by them. I just use their services, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I do get $10 if you do Be Frugal, and $30 for Rakuten. So do you. So give 10, or give 30, get 30. So I appreciate you guys. Join the Facebook group with my colleague Tech and Sports and myself. He has 59,000 feedback, and he's a top 1,000 seller, and he's able to keep 100% positive feedback. I'm not that talented, to be honest. It's really hard to ship over 100 items a day and every single customer is happy. I'm trying to get there, but it's probably above my pay grade to handle 100 orders successfully every day. I think 70, to be honest. At 70 sales a day, I would not have any. I probably would have 100% feedback. 100 is a little bit beyond my ability, but that's okay. I'll get there one day. I'm still growing, and again, that's why it's important when you're looking for a mentorship, when you're looking for help, to just share what you're doing. And here's 14 people gave me their feedback on what I'm doing wrong. Be open to constructive criticism. I've been making mistakes for a long time, so it's just better to learn from people who are doing it the right way. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode.